Midway to Love is a 2019 film directed by Jefffries, written by Day and Thomas Lockridge, and this stars Rachel Hendrix as Dr. Rachel August and Daniel Stine as Mitchell Sims. And Rachel is a TV psychologist. She is a proper doctor, but her current career sees her hosting a therapy show. And things seem to be going well for her, but then the network decides to take things in a different direction, and it's basically changing from a respectable show into something more akin to Jeremy Kyle or Jerry Springer, where it's a lot more noisy and chaotic, and Rachel doesn't want to do this, but she's under a 5-year contract, and actually I think the contract aspect was a bad idea because of certain things that happen. If they just removed the contract, then I might have liked her a little bit more. Otherwise, I thought she was acting very unprofessionally and basically having a tantrum about something she's got no control of because she's contracted to work for them for 5 years. That's not to say she's not allowed to have a say in things and not allowed to have opinions. But at the end of the day, she shouldn't be in this position where she's trying to work out whether she wants to continue with the show or not, because she's contracted to do so. It literally doesn't matter what she wants because she signed the contract. If they just removed that element, then everything else would have made a lot more sense, to have her at this crossroads where she has to decide to continue or to move on to a different chapter in her life. So I think they kind of made things more difficult for themselves by incorporating that contract. So I didn't really love that aspect of it. I felt like Rachel was acting very unprofessionally a lot of the time, and there are ways to do things, ways to voice your opinions, and she was just acting like a child. I completely understand why she wouldn't want to do this show and jeopardize her integrity, but the way she was going about things just wasn't right, so didn't really love that. And then we have the romantic aspect, and this doesn't work very well either because of Rachel. She goes back home to clear her head. She's got a week off of work. Regardless of what's going on, she had this week's vacation. She goes back home. She reconnects with Mitchell. And Mitchell is so likable. Such a lovely character. When Rachel is dragging things down, he lifts them up. And obviously we have romantic sparks between them. But the way Rachel treated him was really not fair. I did not like the way she reacted to any situation. I don't like the way she treated Mitchell. I don't think she's a very likable character at all. Nothing against the performance. It's absolutely the way the character is written, the way her behaviour is written. And I just couldn't stand her. So I felt no emotional connection to her. I wasn't really behind her journey. Because she is so unlikable, I didn't really care about what was happening. I did care a tiny bit because I liked Mitchell, but seeing Rachel treating him in ways that are really not fair, that meant that I just wasn't enjoying watching Mitchell because I didn't want to see him being hurt in this way. So it wasn't a pleasant watch. It's not a very good film at all. The pacing of the narrative is fine. We get to the point immediately. Rachel goes home pretty quickly. She reconnects with Mitchell pretty quickly. And then we have a decent amount of time to flesh things out. I say flesh things out, that's maybe too strong a phrase because not a lot happens. Had Rachel been a more likable character, then maybe it would have been okay, because there are plenty of rom-coms where the narrative is kind of stale, not a lot happens, but it's enjoyable to watch the characters and enjoy their journey. But unfortunately, we have a very dull narrative and a very problematic protagonist. So it doesn't work either way. Unfortunately, Midway to Love is not a good film. There's not much about it that worked very well at all, mostly revolving around Rachel being a very problematic character. The performances are fine. Mitchell is a really likable character, so that helped, but the rest of it, unfortunately, wasn't very good at all.